Welcome students for the today's lecture on fermentation technology, and today we are interested in discussing about the fermentation economics. What are the financial inputs or outputs that are required to maintain a fermentation process, to produce a fermentation product, and then market it or make it commercially viable. So we are going to discuss those issues or the trends that we need to discuss, we need to have to set up for a fermentation process to be made very useful commercially, or to make it viable commercially. Now, as we know, fermentation is in itself an expensive process, and in fact, this increase in the cost or makes it somewhat restrained technology in terms of production processes. Most of the production processes are governed by the chemical synthetic processes, and it is only now that many new kind of products are required that the fermentation strategy has been coming up as a trend for the commercial or industrial applications. So we would discuss it now. Any fermentation process that we are taking up, that fermentation process is aimed at producing a kind of product that would be recover that would be able to recover all the cost of the production process with some kind of profit. But whatever the manufacturing or whatever the product is proposed, it is proposed in the need or according to the market demand. So there may be two possibilities for any kind of fermentation product. First possibility is that the market of the so-called product already exists, because there is already some similar product or the same kind of product that is already being marketed by some other industry production unit. Second possibility is that the product may be altogether a new product, and it may be a new kind of invention, or it may be a new discovery product. So that product has to be first put into the market, and then its market needs to be established. So if there's example, there is a new antibiotic in the market, and you want to sell it out, but the acceptance of that new antibiotic in the market would not be so good. So you have to create the market for that antibiotic. Then there are certain obstacles also regarding the marketing of a certain product. Like if there are very the product demand is very low, or there are very few uses of that particular product, then the cost of the production would not be recovered, as less and less consumers would be taking up the new product. So it is obvious that the product like this could be a challenging product, and to get the patent coverage because of the lack of the utility. Now, for the products which are already in the market, there could be a fierce competition. So, from one production unit to the other production unit, the cost of production may vary, or the quality of the product may vary, and so there would be a competition. There would be a comparison between the products. So, to succeed in the competition, the product must be cheap enough so that it can be sold at a slightly less than the already existing selling prices. So, the whole fermentation process and its product must be able to compete on an economically sound basis with the similar products in the market. Next important thing that we need to consider during the fermentation process is the media components. Now, when we were discussing about the different media components and their composition of a particular fermentation media, we had discussed about the different components and their economic status. So, the components may be we discussed about some criteria what would suffice for a very good media. So those criteria were somewhat like the product should be reasonably available throughout the year. It should be available in the nearby localities of the fermentation unit. So all these factors, that is the presence of the media components in nearby locations, and its cheap availability throughout the year, they all are closely related with the fermentation product production as well as is distribution. Suppose distribution is also important. If the product is being produced at a remote site and then you have to transport it to far away marketplace, that will increase the cost of the production. So where we see that in production is very important, same way distribution is also very important. Then the competitive position and expected profits from a fermentation product, they are also closely associated with the cost of the various components of the production medium. So suppose you have simple salts in the medium, then the cost of the medium will be very less. In contrast, if you have expensive components like serum in animal cell cultures, then the cost of the medium will increase, and that will definitely increase the cost of the product also. So or another example is your of growth hormones or some specific metalloenzymes that need to be added to the fermentation media, and that pure, if the components are pure, then that will definitely increase the cost of the media. Then when we compare the media for the inoculum, then it is less expensive because it is required to provide rapid cell growth only, and not for converting large amount of carbon substrate into a fermentation product. However, media components may be subject to fluctuations in context to availability and the cost. So, if the media substrate is available in nearby locations, then the transportation cost will be reduced, the handling cost will be reduced, the damage caused due to transportation may be reduced, and so on and so forth reasons may be there, which would definitely reduce the cost of the media components, and that fluctuations will be there from one production unit to the other production unit. So it is always advantageous to have an alternative medium for use if any unusual situation happens. Then the labor cost. Now, the labor cost will involve your technical and the non-technical skilled personnel at all levels of competence. So you need different level of competencies, skills that will be required to operate a fermentation unit. So if it is simply by monitoring, maybe the system fermentation unit is being automatically monitored and managed, then the labor cost will definitely come down, but the cost of the automation will go up. In contrast, if there are many people working, then you have the increase in the labor cost, and according to their different skills and according to the work or the duties they are assigned, they are doing at different positions in the fermentation unit. That is, some are monitoring the preparation of the culture media, some are monitoring the maintenance of the culture organism cultures, or others are maintaining the sterility component of the fermentation unit. So various skills are required. Some are required for the maintenance of the machinery. So that expertise, different you are involving different kind of people, different kind of expertise, and that will increase the labor cost. So it will include the handling of the cultures, the inoculum, the production process, the product recovery, purification, packaging, cleaning, and administration, and so on so forth, processes where labor cost will be definitely in affect the production of the product. Now, this labor cost may even vary from fermentation to fermentation. So, you may be doing fermentation in simple, one production product may be simply produced, maybe in a batch process, other may be being produced in a continuous process, or it may be a simple process, you are synthesizing a simple microbial product, or you may be producing a sophisticated product like any recombinant product. So all these criteria, that is, what is your product, which kind of fermentation strategy you are going to take up, whether you are going to take up with the submerged strategies or the surface strategies, all that will also influence the labor cost that is required for the fermentation unit. Next important criteria is the contamination and the sterilization. So now, if there are stringent requirements to control the contamination and sterilize the components or the ancillary equipment in the fermentation process, then it will definitely add to the cost of any fermentation process. Now, most fermentations cannot survive serious contaminations, so the medium has to be discarded. If there is a pure culture that you are working with, then if it by chance is contaminated by an adventitious species, then that will overtake the production process, and you will have to remove that adventitious species from the fermenting vessel. So that will definitely lead to the wastage of the fermentation media, wastage of the inoculum, wastage of the raw materials, and even wastage of your time and effort. So that will lead to uh, increase in the cost. So if the in contrast, if the contaminated fermentation media is moderately contaminated and the immediate removal or discarding of the medium is not required, but still it might affect the yield of the product. Then certain fermentation medias are more prone to contamination than the others. So if there are many components that are more favorable for growing of different kinds of populations, then that fermentation media will be more prone to contamination. And this chances may be increased because of the foaming in the pro- uh, fermentation media. Now there are even some fermentations processes or the inoculums which are more sensitive to phage infections. For example, if we take up the bacterial fermentations, then they are more sensitive to the phage infections, and in case if the product is intended for the medical purposes, pharmaceutical purposes, then those infections would reduce the cost or the sensitivity of the product for the market. So to contain the contamination, to sterilize the product or the fermentation media, all that is very much required. So there has to be an alternate method for the contaminant growth, and such methods may include lowering down the pH of the medium, or giving partial heat treatment to the medium, or inclusion of certain chemicals such as antibiotics so as to retard the growth of the contaminating organisms. Next is your yield and the productivity. So now yield and productivity, the fermentation products can be classed as low cost, high volume, or as high cost, low volume products, and only limited number of low cost, high volume products have been produced by fermentation, like your solvents, organic acids, or single cell proteins. So these products, if they are, as I told you, they are of low cost and they are of high volume, only then there can be good recovery or profit recovery of the fermentation process. So the product yield and the recovery, they are the prime considerations of the fermentation economics, and in this context the yield and the recovery both should be considered together. If the high yield is of low value, little value, then the product cannot be recovered properly for the sale. So if you are producing a very expensive product and it is in little large volume, then there are chances that you have some kind of profit. But if there is a product that is of very little importance in the market and it is being produced in large quantities, then there would not be any takers for this ex, for this extra product. So in that case, the product will be held up in the production unit itself, and it won't be utilized by any kind of consumer. So the recovery of the cost would be impeded in such cases. Then the product purity is also essential, which governs the cost of the product or the production cost. Now, at one end, some products like antibiotic preparations must be sterile and free from pyrogens. In contrast, other antibiotic preparations, they can be sold in crude form for mixture with animal feeds. So you have a product purity scale where you have a range of purity that can you can allow in the product. That is the the cost may increase if the product is assumed to be 95 to 100% pure. So intended use most likely would be for medical purposes, for pharmaceutical industry, or for clinical purposes. So in that case, if you are trying to produce, example, insulin hormone or some kind of other hormones or drugs that are required for clinical purposes, there you would be expecting 95 to 100% purity, and that will definitely, the purifying steps would increase the cost of the production. Whereas if the intended use is for animal feeds, then you can compromise with the purity of the preparation. Maybe you can go with 50% pure components, or maybe in the range of 50 to 95% range components, where the extreme purity is not required, and the extra purification steps or extra cautions need not to be taken. So that will govern the cost or reduce the cost of the product preparation. Thus, the purity level required for the marketing of the fermentation product will have a major effect on the cost associated with that product. Now, specific fermentation products can also be marketed at more than one concentration as a level of purity. So, we can take the example of lactic acid that is sold at different strengths ranging from approximately 20 to 85%, and its purity levels range from crude technical grade to high purity edible and USP grades. So each of these grades has place in the market. So you will get 20% pure lactic acid also in the market, you will get 85% pure lactic acid also in the market, and each range will have its own cost and own there will be various strata in the market that will be consuming these of the grades. So The product purity is being handled, or the cost is being recovered by making different levels of purity of the same product. Then the waste disposal is also important. The effluent that we are getting, maybe in the form of water or any spent out media, all that also considerably increases the cost of the fermentation process. So if the waste disposal is on a higher side, if you have to treat the waste, then it may contribute either minimum to the maximum factor of the fermentation process. Now, the critical consideration here is that the acceptance of the waste by the municipal sewage treatment works. Now, the municipal sewage treatment works will tell you whether there is a requirement of pre-treatment of the waste before taking in the waste into the sewage treatment plant. So there will be a level of acceptance that the municipal sewage treatment facility would take up. So in other cases, there may be that the fermentation company itself has its own waste treatment plant, and it is treating the waste in its own facility. Then definitely some of the cost will increase for the production. Then disposal of waste is no longer simple, in contrast to historical disposal, where the disposal was being made directly into the rivers, streams, or other water bodies. Now, certain fermentations would require that the waste to be sterilized before disposal. So the treatment of the waste, suppose if it is having some kind of infectious components or hazardous components that were being produced in the facility, then that kind of waste needs to be sterilized before disposal. And you cannot put the disposal or the effluent directly into the rivers or the streams or other water bodies. So when we are designing the medium, when we are designing a production facility, then we need to consider that what kind of waste would be generated, how much that waste needs to be treated before the proper disposal, and how much of waste can be disposed of. In some of the traditional practices, like you can send it out into the river or streams, where you can put in like you have the water that is being generated in fermentation facilities for maintaining the temperature, that hot or the cold water, if directly disposed into river or water streams, there it would change the aquatic environment. So that water has to be brought to a particular temperature, or if there have been changes in the pH, then it has to be maintained at that particular pH, so that it is safely disposed of into these natural resources. Then the cost of the research, this would increase the process is actually discovered is actually incurred on the discovery of the process and then development of that process. So this discovery, devising new strategies for particular synthesis, and then optimizing those strategies, validating those strategies that of that particular process, and then developing it from pilot scale to the industrial scale. All those developmental steps, all those research steps will increase the cost of the production. So this cost may considerably increase where we are trying to find new kind of products. So this research cost also needs to be considered when we are considering the overall cost of the fermentation process. Now, this kind of research is pursued in the hope that the resulting basic information obtained on the growth and synthetic activities of the microbes will be of later use in defining areas of exploration and the approaches for discovering new fermentation processes and improving the already established processes. So the aim is at discovering new strategies for innovations, for new inventions, and as well as for improving or upgrading the existing processes. Thank you.